Well, Sunday afternoon, and we're just lazing around. Aren't we, honey?
Oh, we certainly are. Very relaxing.
There's Laurie. So what did our morning do? We did something this morning, so what would we do this morning?
Went to a track meet.
Track meet. Laurie's a coach, and she coaches a bunch of kids in Parksville on Vancouver Island, and they had a track meet today, and it ended early, and we're back at the boat. I've been doing little odd jobs around the boat. Laurie has been packing things away into the bowels of the boat. The bowels of my boat are pretty nice. They're all, I gel coated them all up and put shelving downstairs underneath the boat, so it's kind of nice. And now we're done all that, and we're out enjoying what's left of the afternoon.
Just relax.
Just relaxing. So what are you doing, Laurie?
I'm making bread.
Sweet. We have a bread maker. A little cheap Sunbeam. And we're making bread. And I made tapioca pudding. We got dishes to do. We did a shopping. We did laundry. We're trailer park trash. We got laundry out. La da 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 da. And we're relaxing. And that's it from the good ship Muskoka. Anything else you want to add?
Adios.
That's Mexican for
Adios.
So that's downtown Nanaimo, and we've come over to Newcastle Island, which is right behind me. Our little dinghy is right there, and there's starlings. There's starlings in these little starling houses. You can hear them probably. So all of these islands, on one of the last videos, the video I did on DeCourcy Island, showed some sandstone stuff, and all of the islands are kind of made of the same stuff. So I'm just going to show you some cool erosions.
The honeycomb effect.
Yeah. All of the rocks are like this in some sort of affair. Very nice. So these pulp stones, this is a visual of a quarry that's on this island, and they used to cut these pulp stones out, and they were known for their high quality, and they were used to grind up wood in paper mills across North America. That's a pulp stone. So these pulp stones were cut from a quarry just by the dinghy dock, and this is the quarry, but here's the holes that these stones were cut out of, and you can see right back into there. They threw in some rocks, but all of these cut stones are, and this is a pulp stone cutter, and you can see it's like a big coring tool, and it's probably got some sort of diamond cutter on it, and it spins round and round, spins around and round and round for about 3 hours and cuts a pulp stone. What a beautiful setting for a quarry. Speaking of beautiful, there's my girl. Well, we're out on Newcastle Island still, and the purpose of this video is to inform people that are watching our channel of what our long-term plans are. It's painfully obvious when you watch and read our comments that nobody's got a clue where we're going or what we're actually doing. So to make all that a little bit more, what's the word I want to use? Clear to people, we're going to fill you in. So right now it's the year 2016, and right?
Yep.
Okay.
End of May.
End of May 2016, and we are in Nanaimo, British Columbia on Vancouver Island. Right, today we're on Newcastle Island, as we mentioned, and the reason we're in Nanaimo is that Laurie lives about half an hour north of Nanaimo, and she has sold her house, and her plans are to move on board at the end of June, so 4 more weeks full time. She's 90% there now, but we won't have a sanctuary to go to. We will just have the boat.
Yeah.
So that's how are we gonna get across?
That's pretty tough.
Good thing I was watching out of the corner of my eye. With my luck I would have tripped and smashed myself up and gone, oh, you can't go on your trip. So anyway, at the end of June, Laurie moves on the boat, and at the end of August we take off for our first real major destination. Is going to be Mexico, but
Well, San Francisco for our first sub-major destination.
so off to San Francisco, harbor hopping.
Yeah.
And that'll take us down the west coast of the United States. San Diego, where else are we going? Marina del Rey or something?
Santa Barbara.
Santa Barbara, we have friends there. And then like San Diego, and then Ensenada, Mexico. We're gonna hang in there for a bit. And my insurance won't allow me to get down into Mexico until end of October, I think it is. But from what we understand with everybody else, 1st of November is when you take off from San Diego to go to Mexico for the year.
Yeah.
Or what they call it, the season.
Yes.
So our dilemma is we wanted to spend a lot of time in the Sea of Cortez, but we're a bit freaking out over 100-degree temperatures in the summer. So we're either going to spend 6 months in the Sea of Cortez or 18 months in the Sea of Cortez. And that will be to be determined later. So from the Sea of Cortez, we're going to keep our harbor hopping analogy going all the way down to Ecuador. So we're going to go Mexico, Mazatlan, Puerto Vallarta, all those places, and then down, to Guatemala and San Salvador, Costa Rica, Panama, Perlas Islands, maybe a little stint through Colombia, and then into Ecuador. And I'll haul the boat out in Ecuador and get it ready for the crossing of the South Pacific. And then after Ecuador, the Galapagos Islands, and I excuse now, I'm going to be zipping through islands really quickly. Galapagos, Marquesas, Tuamotus, Tahiti, Moorea, Cook Islands, Tonga, then south to New Zealand, a stop there for maybe a season, maybe a year, whatever the winds, and back up to Tonga and Niue, Vanuatu, New Caledonia, then into Australia, Great Barrier Reef, then Australia for maybe a year, up the coast, east coast of Australia to up to Darwin, across the top to Darwin, then into Indonesia.
Papua New Guinea
Yep.
on the way there.
Little stop in the Philippines. I may stay there for a while. Definitely going to stay in Thailand for a while. Then we pop out into the Indian Ocean. We're going to go to the Andaman Islands. Then we're going to go to the Maldives, Sri Lanka, India, hopefully up the Red Sea. The Somalia pirate activities cooled down since the war. I don't know. We'll see what happens when we get there. Mm-hmm. It might be the 53rd state of the United States. Yemen might be. So you never know who the Americans want to bomb next. And we are at a crossroads in our walk.
Let's look at the map.
Oh, we're going to look at the map. So we're either going to take the Channel Trail, or we're going to take the Channel Trail. But that's up to Laurie.
Well, it's Mallard Lake or Channel Trail. The Channel Trail will head to the coastline. This one will go just on the middle.
Where do you want to go?
Oh, let's go to the coastline.
Oh, the Channel Trail.
Yeah.
I sent messages out. She picked up on them. So where were we? Oh yeah, Red Sea. Whoops. I guess you want to see us instead of the... Oh, maybe you don't. So then we're going to go up the Red Sea into the Mediterranean, spend a year there. Don't know how we're going to attack Europe. That's either going to be... We're going to try to do it by boat and up river systems, but might be problematic.
Yeah.
We'll see how that goes. Eventually out of the Gibraltar, out into out into the Atlantic Ocean, down to the Canaries, Cape Verde, and then from Cape Verde across to the Caribbean. Mm-hmm. Then the Caribbean islands for a season or two, and then up the eastern seaboard, Bahamas. Can't forget the Bahamas. I want to spend some time there. Big shout out to Mr. Reitman, Ronnie. Laurie and I have been to his place in the Bahamas. I built a pool there for him, with him, and I built a house there too. But once we get done with the Bahamas, Florida, and then up the eastern seaboard to New York City, Mass down into Lake Ontario, through the Trent Severn, which is a canal system in Ontario, Canada, on the eastern side in the Great Lakes, and out into Georgian Bay, which is my home sailing area. And yeah, my boat's name is Muskoka, and it's because of the area there. Then we're going to spend 1 or 2 seasons in Georgian Bay. Right now I want to do 2, so that means we would have to pull the boat out in Canada for a winter, and then we would just take off someplace and travel. Where the hell would you go? We've been just about everywhere, but we'll see how that goes. Then out of the Great Lakes, we'll exit the Great Lakes in Chicago. Yes, I said Chicago. Take the mast down, and then there's a canal system there that gets us out into the Mississippi, and then we motor down to the United States to New Orleans, and then back out into Gulf of Mexico, back into the Caribbean, maybe Cuba. Get guaranteed Cuba. Got to do Cuba. Might do it on the way up, because it's very close to the Bahamas, and then back to the Caribbean if we choose to do the back into the Caribbean, who knows, and eventually to San Blas Islands in the Panama, and through the canal and back into the Pacific. And when we get back into the Pacific, we will decide to go north home or go around again. Newcastle is separated by this channel, and that's the city of Nanaimo. And right there is a friend of mine's boat. Shout out to Harry. Harry is currently flying his helicopter, trying to increase his kitty so he can join us in Mexico next year. I think he wanted to join us this year, but time ran out, and he's stuck here for another year. Happens to a lot of people. As you know, Laurie and I ramped ours up a year. That doesn't happen very often, but good thing it did. So this is Newcastle Island from a different perspective. And Laurie's up here somewhere. And that's the Strait of Georgia from Newcastle. Very nice. Downtown Nanaimo. Newcastle to the right, starboard side, Protection Island to the port.
And then Gabriola over there.
Yeah, Gabriola's right there. That's Gabriola. Silva Bay, killer whales, honking sea lions. If you remember that video, that's the island. It's all pretty compact around here. Very beautiful spot to be.